Hey guys, Brent Hull, Wednesday design video. Got a house in Alabama. A little bit of the white box syndrome, black windows, white stucco, windows stuck on the face of it. Think we've got a great fix. Let me know what you guys think. Okay guys, this is the house in Alabama that we're working on, trying to add a little bit of architectural oomph to this house. You know, you'll see that this house is rather plain. It's a little bit of a white box, right? Where you've got just black windows, white stucco, and not really any architectural design or style. And so it's cloudy as far as what is this style? What is it? It ends up looking very contemporary. If it's going to be anything, it's probably English with this kind of cat sweep back, but the proportions are a little bit funky. And so it just needs some help. And so we're trying to kind of infuse a little bit of character into that. We've timbered this front gable in. We've got the pendants that go around. We're putting cut stone around this opening. Probably going to draw it in a little bit so it's not so gaping. And so a number of things, changing that dormer from that round dormer. They wouldn't have done that in kind of a cottage style. They would have done something simpler to make. And so you were organizing this. We're also trying to give it a sense of arrival, a sense that when you come to this house, you know where the front door is. Right now, am I supposed to drive up this way? Am I supposed to stop? Where am I supposed to stop? And a motor court really, I think, helps define that and helps you see kind of what you're looking at. The back of the house has kind of that same kind of problem where it's just white stucco, black windows. We know they want a pool. We're able to put a cabana or a pool house over here, but taking some of that timber work from the front side, tying it into the back, kind of building a garden. They're up on a hill, and so you can see that the way this terraces and things like that. This would be a very, very inviting area to kind of hang out. It's kind of protected, but you also can take advantage of it by stepping up into kind of a terrace garden coming up into here. That would be really lovely, and then you'd have this back area with the pergola and other things going on over here that it really becomes quite lovely. And so I actually really like how this is organized and coming together. And really what we're doing is we are playing with the organization of the grounds as much as we are the house. And so here's the driveway, here's you coming up in here. And by us creating this upper tiered garden, you can see Ashland's put in a kind of a access point here that kind of draws your eye out to this area here. We've organized the front drive. And so we've really taken something that's just house only and tied it to the grounds, tied it to the house, and really, I think, made it a lot better. So you'll also notice that with these, this back one, you'll see it especially, but just look what we've done with the windows. I think there's window confusion these days. And so this kind of paired windows, back-to-back double hung window, realize that you have now created a box rolled over on its side. So it's a rectangle kind of rolled on its side. And this becomes a box and this becomes a box. And so the way you read this, okay, it reads as very contemporary. And it's really the way you lay out your glass patterns and glass slides, because almost in that same space with the vertical divided light panes with still a back-to-back window that goes to a casement instead of a double hung, which is more appropriate to this style, the proportions feel better. So realize that what you're reading when you look at windows is the pane, especially if it's not a divided light. Maybe you see it really clearly there. That box is a box turned over on its side, okay? Modern is horizontal, classical is vertical. So this little square really does matter. And so this is communicating contemporary. This is communicating modern, right? Whereas we change that focus, and now that whole sash is a tall rectangle, and then each individual pane is a tall rectangle, and all of a sudden it looks more traditional, more appropriate. And now I've taken the English style and brought it back to the back of the house so that it's not so contemporary. So one thing I do like about a project like this is this one's actually fairly easy to do, right? Because the form and the massing of this house looks like a cottage. We've got this sweep here, we've got the arch door, and so now all we're doing is we're taking English details. We've got plank shutters. We've got, the timber in the eaves. She's added some leaded glass in some of the smaller windows. There's inviting pieces and parts over here. But because this house, they stopped building basically when they got to the house, and they kind of added some pots around here, we have the opportunity to really elevate and tell a much better story. And really all we're doing is we're adding historic materials. And so part of the story of the Tudor revival, or that English cottage, French cottage, is cut stone. So there is an emphasis on cut stone, especially around the entry. Notice that by doing this, we create hierarchy here. There is cut stone around a window with coining, and then the casement style window that happens here. It's really this window, but you've seen my video before where these windows, if this is the front of your house and that's your wall in between, they've placed that window right on the front, okay? And the jamb sits back here, and that window sits in the front. It's got a whole video on how frustrating these windows are because there's no depth. Historically, what would have happened is if you had a window, a wall like this, that window would be set back here, okay? And this depth, right? So right now, if this is the face of the house, that's 1 inch, or let's just say that's 1, I'm basically at the same level. I haven't moved at all, maybe even back a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. Here, if the face of the wall is 1, I'm back, 2, 3, 4 inches, something like that back here with the in-swing casement. So it really transforms and changes this. And this, you won't believe it, guys, but this depth of field right here really makes a huge difference when you look at this house and you're wanting something with more emphasis. Those shadow lines really give this house a much richer feel. And these modern windows that sit on the face of the house really don't help at all. Okay, guys, so we infused it with architectural story, right? Went away from the white stucco black windows look and really gave it timbers and gave it cut stone and gave it better proportions in the window sizes, moved the windows out to the face. Those things make a huge difference. And I think that house totally transforms. Let me know what you guys think. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.